All right. I greet you wherever you are watching me. I come your way once again in this means to explain some things concerning the issue on board. This video is without any prejudice to any kind of your feelings or your understanding on anything. First of all, I want to let all of you know that the call for Western Togoland did not start with us. And I am sure it's not going to end with us unless the country got separated from Ghana as it's supposed to be. So those of you who are feeling the pain or that we are calling for Western Togoland and you need one Ghana and all those things, we cannot be calling for one Ghana when the foundation of this country, Ghana, is of a crime. Ghana started as a crime scene because Britain, who came to invade our land in 1914, was the one who put the country together. When it is time for all of us to gain our separate independence, for their parochial interests, instead of for want of anything, they could have allowed the western part of the Togoland to join the eastern part. But for their selfish interest, they decided to push and manipulate the destiny of western part of Togo into the Gold Coast. And many of you, when we talk about Western Togoland, you keep arguing that the people voted in the 1956 plebiscite to join Ghana, so that is the end. If the people voted to join, then it means they have the right to opt out. And there must be no law. There can never be any law to bind the people where they are. They voted to be here. They can decide to be out. Unless you can show any document concerning the registration of the plebiscite that states that this 1956 plebiscite union that is established between British Togoland and the state of Ghana, the people of Togoland cannot opt out in this relationship. This should have been part of the trusteeship, the plebiscite agreement and the union. It is only then that we, the native of this part of the world, will say that, oh, our forefathers have entered into an agreement that binds us here. But until you can show the establishment of that union, you have nothing to say against the Western Togoland people who are calling for their country to be back or separated from Ghana. We cannot continue to be a place for over 68 years and not even a common employment avenue will be there for people. After we school, where do we have to go? We have to struggle outside. Struggling. We are supposed to be in a union nation. So where is our part of the development that union nation is supposed to get? Nothing. And when we are talking about this, some of you, because of your political gains, and when you don't have anything to say, then you say you want one Ghana and whatever. Nobody is saying that Ghana should be divided. Ghana, as a country, go and read the resolution that established Ghana before the United Nations. It states clearly that Britain had granted independence to all the territories that are the Gold Coast colony, and Britain mentioned them. Go and read the Ghana Independence Act of 1957. Britain stated everything in that resolution that established Ghana. And he continued to say Togoland is in union with the state of Ghana. So even the name Ghana from Gold Coast was not because Togolanders joined to create Ghana. Go and read the resolution. It is there. If you want to comment on something, please get the education that is needed before you continue the talk. Now, to those of you who say the people voted, it is the people's choice. Let me read something for you. This is a special report that I have here. The source is the United Nations. If you pick the special report, go to page 15. Read from paragraph 105. Listen carefully. The mission has carefully considered what questions should be put to the people in the plebiscite. In doing so, it has been guided by the principles that the issue should be put to the people in simple and clear terms. The first question should clearly be whether the people desire integration with the Gold Coast as urged by the Convention People's Party. So who urged it? Convention People's Party. Convention People's Party, is it a Togoland party? Is it a Togoland political group that's supposed to speak on behalf of Togoland? Was Togoland entrusted into the Gold Coast or Britain? Let's continue. By the Convention People's Party and the Northern People's Party, another Gold Coast party, they are deciding for Togoland. The second question arises out of the request of the Togoland Congress. The Togoland under British administration remained under trusteeship after its separation from the Gold Coast. After the separation from the Gold Coast had been formally achieved, pending the ultimate settlement of its political future at a later date. The second question should therefore make this clear by giving the people an opportunity to choose to remain under trusteeship after separating from the Gold Coast until a practicable future status for the territory can be finally determined at the earliest feasible date. So the Togoland Congress is the Gold Coast party, and this is what they suggested, that they don't want to be part of Gold Coast. They want to be separated, and a later decision should be taken on them whether to unite with the Eastern Togoland or to remain on their own. So it is not as if all those years our people have not been rejecting to be part of Ghana, to be part of Gold Coast or anything. Let's continue. In these circumstances, the mission recommends that the following question be put at the plebiscite. 1. Do you want the integration of Togoland under British administration with an independent Gold Coast? So they pick the CPP and the Northern People's question. Their decision, they pick it because Britain is the one deciding. You see, so they say what? Even look at the frame of the phraseology of the question. Do you want the integration of Togoland under British administration with an independent Gold Coast? So what is an independent Gold Coast? An independent Gold Coast is what they call Ghana. So not that to be integrated in the Gold Coast or anything. An independent, it means it is yet to be what? Granted independence. Now let's continue. Do you want the separation of Togoland under British administration from the Gold Coast and its continuance under trusteeship pending the ultimate determination of this political future? Look at the second question. How can people who do not even attend school understand this question? People who Britain did not train. When Britain took over, she did not build any school to educate the people on anything. There was no government for Togoland to educate the people even on the question. Let's continue. 106. As noted in the paragraph 100 above, Togoland under British administration has for the past 40 years been administered as an integral part of the Gold Coast, and a large body of people of public opinion in the territory in favor of continuing this relationship. Let's continue to paragraph 107, where I want you to get something. 107. One member of the mission, Mr. Terazi, considered that there were 3 people sent to Togoland. Terazi is one of them. Mr. Terazi considers that before any popular consultation is held concerning the future of Togoland under British administration, it is necessary to provide the territory with institutions of its own, functioning independently of those of the Gold Coast. In his view, the present administrative union goes far beyond its proper scope, since it embraces not only the economic but also the constitutional and administrative organization. The Gold Coast Legislative Assembly enacts laws which apply to Togoland under British administration, and some district councils exercise authority over the territory. To ensure that Togoland under British administration retain its status as a trust territory during the period of the popular consultation, and to avoid any interference from political organization with headquarters in the Gold Coast, the constitutional separation of Togoland under British administration from the Gold Coast should be proclaimed. Mr. Tarazi suggested that specific measures be taken should include the setting up of separate assembly for Togoland under British administration composed of representatives of British administration composed of that territory alone. This would enable the various groups in Togoland under British administration to meet and put forward their different point of view. And it continues. So you realize that the mission came and verified the problems that Britain has created. All this was an intention. It was intentionally done by Britain to block every ways for Togolanders. Now, when you look at the plebiscite report, I'm leaving the special report, I'm going to the plebiscite report. The plebiscite report by Spinoza, who was the commissioner of the plebiscite. This is the paragraph D, under the alternatives. Listen, it is well to note in the first place that the question to be put to the voter are essentially the same ones recommended by the visiting mission in paragraph 105 of each special report. We just read the paragraph 105 report. The only fundamental difference being that in the course of the debate in 1955, the word integration was abandoned and the word union was adopted in connection with the manner in which Togoland under British administration may choose to join the Gold Coast as an independent state. So you see that after the mission has submitted their report, they discuss the outcome of the mission's work, and they realize that the word integration, you know, when we were reading the special report, they said there should be the places to decide whether the people should be integrated. But the United Nations say that no. The debate in the council said that no, the people should not be integrated, the land should not be integrated, but the plebiscite should be of a union. So union can only take place between two different entities. So in this case, Gold Coast and Ghana and Togoland, or the independent state of Gold Coast and what? Togoland. That is why in the British letter in the resolution 1044, they state that she had granted independence to all the territories in the Gold Coast. And the name of that independence is called the State of Ghana. And she went on to say that the State of Ghana is now in a union with the British Togoland. How difficult is this for you to understand? That anytime we are talking about this, then you'll be misconstruing everything. That the people voted to be part of here, those kind of things. Please, let's stop that. You want Ghana to be united, no problem. But we cannot unite Ghana on a crime scene. We, the people in Togoland, we are also humans. We deserve our right to be respected. If we choose to be part of you, we can choose to opt out. So long as there's no binding law anywhere that if we join you, we cannot opt out. It means we have the right, and any time that we feel that we want to go, we can organize ourselves peacefully and demand for exit. This is what we have been doing all this while. But you, the ignorant one, will not listen. You think we are here to foment any trouble. No. The crime that Britain committed in Africa, we must all come together to end it, for the unity of Africa to be achieved. Thank you.